So let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about a really important question in public health. What is prevalence? Now, it might sound a little technical, but I promise it's a concept that affects all of us, probably more than you even realize.
To really get this, let's start with a simple question. Just think about where you live, your town, your city. How many people at this very second are living with asthma? Not who got it last week or who might get it next year, but who has it right now?
You see, to answer a question like that, you need a very specific kind of tool. The folks who study this stuff, epidemiologists, they can't just look at a whole year's worth of data. To know what's happening right now, they have to take a snapshot, like a single photo, frozen in time, that captures the health of the entire community.
And that brings us right to our first big idea, this concept of a snapshot of disease. This snapshot actually has a technical name. It's called point prevalence. It's basically the number of people who have a disease at one single specific moment. So if a researcher were doing a survey, the question they'd ask isn't, have you ever had asthma? Nope. It's the one you see right here. Do you currently have asthma? It's all about the now. And hey, this isn't just some metaphor we made up. The source material itself puts it perfectly. It says prevalence can be seen as a snapshot or a slice through the population. I love that idea of a slice. It's not the whole movie, right? It's just one single frame showing who has the condition at that exact instant. But of course, a community's health isn't just a static picture. It's always changing. So let's move on to a more dynamic way of looking at this, something we'll call the community flask. Yeah, that snapshot is super useful, but it's only one moment. In the real world, the number of people with a condition is constantly in flux. New people get sick, and thankfully, people also recover. It's a living, breathing system. So, to help us visualize this, the source gives us this fantastic analogy. Okay, picture a flask of water. The amount of water in that flask, that's your prevalence, all the existing cases in the community. Now, what makes that water level go up or down? Well, two things. First, you have new cases being added. This is called incidence, and it's like a faucet pouring more water into the flask. But at the same time, you have people who either get better or, unfortunately, pass away. That's like a drain at the bottom, letting water out of the flask. So prevalence is just the balance between the water coming in and the water going out. This flask model does a great job of highlighting the difference between two really critical terms. So let's put them side by side. Prevalence versus incidence. Okay, let's really nail this down. Think of prevalence as the pool of water. It's all the existing cases at one specific moment in time, that snapshot we talked about. We usually talk about it as a proportion, like 25% of people have it. Now, incidence, that's the flow of water into the pool. It only measures the new cases that pop up over a period of time, and it's expressed as a rate, like 5 new cases for every 1,000 people this year. So just remember, prevalence is the pool, incidence is the flow. All right, this is all interesting stuff, but so what? Why does this actually matter in the real world? Why do we go to all this trouble to measure prevalence in the first place? Well, let's look at a real-world example. This chart shows the prevalence of self-reported obesity in the US. By taking this snapshot, we can immediately see how the condition is spread out geographically. You've got states like Colorado with a lower prevalence rate, under 25%, and then states like Louisiana where it's 35% or higher. This isn't about new cases. It's about the existing burden on that community at that moment. And that word, burden, that's the key. That's exactly why we measure this. The source material says it perfectly. Knowing the prevalence helps us answer, what is the burden of disease in the community? This information is absolutely critical. It's how public health officials figure out where to build clinics, how many doctors and nurses they need, and how to get resources to the people who need them the most. So, I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you see a new health clinic going up or hear about a local health initiative, just remember the idea of prevalence. That decision was probably driven by a snapshot of your community's health. What's the prevalence of a condition where you live? And how is that data quietly shaping the world you see every day?